Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sissy's Cards and Crafts. This is my studio, my messy office, actually. Let's just call it what it is. And I have some plans tonight. I've been working all day playing around with a new set, the Beautiful Motifs. It is coming out in the new catalog, so May 6th, I believe. Great sentiment stamps, got a couple nice background stamps, so that's great. And then these dies are pretty good. There's these two I really like. These two here, one creates this fern, another one kind of creates that Queen Anne's lace sort of plant. Then these ones here, very nice, like motifs, but they don't completely cut out. These two, yes, and I'll show you in a second. These two, no. So, and again, I'm going to show you, and that's kind of what I want to play with tonight. And then I got another new set, which is really quite nice, and come back tomorrow and we will look at that. But some of these cards will give you an idea of what they are. So if you look here at the very back, these ferns and these Queen Anne's lace, forgive me if you know them by something else, that's how I know them. That's what those dies create. So very wispy, delicate looking plant, greenery and the plants. These other ones are in the Gallery Blooms, which is part of the Mega Suite that I received, and it also comes with dies. So this here, this wooden part, is a whole other set. That's another new one, and we'll look at it. But I just kind of threw this together, a little bit of everything. And then here's a lovely stamp that came out of that set. So I thought that was quite nice. I had fun doing that. I like doing the box cards. I don't know, it's a labor of love. It's not something you do very quickly, but so then this also comes in the other suite. So you have the ribbon, some of these sentiments, this gorgeous, gorgeous paper. And again, tomorrow night we will have a look at that. These frame dies also come in. This is not, unfortunately, this is not a Stampin' Up paper, but I had it in my stash and I didn't have any other glitter paper, and I just thought it needed to have some glitter. And then, of course, I have my sentiment in there. So that's one that I created today. This one is another one. And this, again, is that die. And I cut it out of some vellum. This frame and this frame are the same die. So this actually is just the inside of this. So that created a die. And then this gorgeous, gorgeous paper. So I have a vellum here to soften that, but there's some paper there that came with that set or that suite. So, and again, that little sentiment. I haven't put the sentiment in here yet, but this gorgeous ribbon, which I'm really enjoying that basic beige ribbon. So this is kind of what we're doing tonight. I haven't put a sentiment on the front of this, and I don't think I will. My husband actually said, you know what, that looks kind of like a sympathy card. I can see that. I can also see it almost as an invitation. I can see it as so many things. So I think I'm going to leave it. But I don't know if you can see the embossing on this. I use this embossing folder. Damask Designs embossing folder. Really, really quite nice. It's one of those things that I just really, really like. And again, this ribbon is just gorgeous. This die here, that's the one we're going to play with tonight. And it does not cut it out. It just cut out kind of portions of it that will pop up. With it being on a vellum, the structure's not going to hold, but I was able to brush the color onto that and layer it. And then, of course, these druzy embellishments. And so because I'm not quite sure what this card is, I don't have anything in there. All right, so that is kind of what I've been doing today, playing around. I don't know where to put those. I'll set them over there. But I thought, you know what, let's kind of go for the same sort of card. So I have my basic A2 card, and it's very vanilla, which I thought was quite nice. I have a piece of gold foil and then crumb cake. And what I want to do is, first off, I want to kind of position this together. So I'm going to use some of this Post-it note tape. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm just going to hold that because I want to keep that in its spot. And my thought is I want to take this die, which is from the, I've got all of them here, the Stylish Shape dies. So you get all of these ones. It's circles, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circles, 5 squares, 4 of these banner ones. And you'll notice there's a lot on them. And you'll see, so this came out of the largest square. You see the nice stitched edging on it. It also leaves the stitched edging on the outside as well. So what I'm thinking is I want to center this one, and we will cut through both. I want to make sure I've got my gold foil equal on all sides. So I'm going to have to just turn around and use my large machine. If you remember, I don't have the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, the one from Stampin' Up, but I do have the Sizzix one. So I'm going to just use this, and I'm going to cut this out. So bear with me for a second. Unfortunately, tonight, this is going to be the way it is multiple times. Okay, so we've got this done. I'm going to pull this tape off. Okay, that washi tape has had its day, but it's not overly sticking to that, which is nice. All right, so what we now have, and you see how there's that stitching there? It's gorgeous. That's kind of what I wanted. And I have 2 circles. What I'd like to do, just kind of give it a bend to loosen those stitches. What I'm thinking of doing, now this is, I haven't tried this yet. This is kind of all in the brain. So what I want, or I'm thinking rather, is taking this embossing folder and embossing this gold. I think, I believe, I hope this will be gorgeous. So I'm going to center it so I can get a nice kind of medallion sort of look to it. So they're evenly spaced. And we will put that through. So again, bear with me. And I'd be remiss to say, not, or to remind you to always put the spine in first, not this edging. The Stampin' Up goes in last, the Stampin' Up logo. And this line here is to help put something straight across. Now look at that. You see that? That is just gorgeous. I'm thinking that will sit right in there for this card. All right, so put that to the side. Now, these beautiful motif dies. So this one here, I'm thinking we're going to put up here for one. Oops, sorry, I always do that. It's got to go down, right? Let's hope it's going to fit. Okay, so I'm going to put one there, and then we will do one here. So we kind of have that offset. Now I am just going to put it through the crumb cake, not through the gold foil. So I'm going to just pull this tape off. This Post-it note tape is awesome. It sticks, but it doesn't stick. Now you can see I am leaving some things on my gold foil. So do be careful when you run gold foil through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And something like all of the, so if I put this plate on top of my gold foil with all of these cuts, those cuts would then be an imprint on my gold foil. So if I was going to put this front and center, that's not very nice, and that's just the tape that you're seeing there. So if I imprinted all that on top of it, it'd be really, really not nice. So when you're going to emboss gold foil, or cut rather, and you don't want all of those parts on there, put your dies down, then put some cardstock on top and be the buffer between your plate and that foil. So it doesn't really matter for the back on this one, but for this, if I was going to use this die on that gold foil, I'd put it down, I'd put my cardstock on, then my other plate on top, and that way I'm not going to get it all mucked up. Just a little bit of information. I'm not doing that right now. This one I am just going to do on this cardstock. So I want to just center it there, and again use this Post-it note tape, and you can reuse it, which is one really nice thing. So if you again bear with me, I apologize. I can't fit my big Sizzix machine on here, but I'm going to cut this, and then I'm going to cut that, and then when I come back, that should be the last I need to do. I don't know how many of you are in Canada and, managed how you survived through the election, but we got through the election, so now move forward. I was working through it all, so it was kind of fun, but now I'm home and just trying to feel like I put myself back together again. All right, so I've got the one done. Do the second one. All right, squeaky chair turning around, and away we go. Alrighty, so you'll see here it cut through. I'll show you. It cut through but didn't cut it out. So we've got some, oh shoot, I did not mean to do that so close. We'll fix it. It's fixable. But maybe next time, live and learn. I think this tape has had its final stretch here. Just trying to get it off. I apologize, my camera is not in the right spot. Again, I've shared before, I'm trying to upgrade everything and get a better camera, get a much better setup, but it takes time and money, and actually the time is really the hardest part for me right now, trying to not be at work and want this to focus on. Okay, so we've got these lovely, lovely motifs now. And you can see if we lift it up, it's going to show some gold under there, which is what I really was looking for. Okay, I have this piece of paper. It's kind of in my scratch pad all day. What we're going to do is we're going to take some crumb cake, and this is crumb cake paper. We're going to take crumb cake ink, and I just want to make sure everything's out of my way. And we're going to use our blending brush, and we're going to blend it on. Now I just want to get the motif. I don't want to get everything else. So I'm just going to lift it up like that. So where you really can't see. Maybe that'll help. Okay. So I'm just going to lift it up. You have to be careful because they're very delicate. But if I can just kind of get those edges, see how that's just going to make that pop a little bit more. I'm going to come around and just tuck these, or tuck this piece of paper in. Make sure I'm holding it so I don't damage it. I'm starting to think my crumb cake needs a good re-inking. Okay. I'm not wanting to really color it. I just want to get some, I want to pop up those edges and cuts a little bit so it shows more of the, this is a very, so the other one that I did, it's a little bit easier to do this, just, and it wasn't that it was easier, might not be the word, it just didn't have quite all the little frills, we'll call them. So it made it a little more straightforward to do this. Not difficult, but just make sure you're hitting the parts that you want. I'm coming through here. And you'll see here, this is the spot right in here. I'll show you in a minute. It's one I don't really want to color. I put much color on. So I'm just watching it as I go brush on. So the right in here. This comes up here, and then there's this part here. So I'm going to pop this part up, and now I can make sure that color gets on there a little bit better. Yeah, I think my next order is going to have a crumb cake re-inker on it. Okay, so then here I'm going to come in, and you'll see that little tail actually comes up. I want to make sure I got that. You don't have to do tone on tone. If you wanted to do a different color, then that would be great. But just make sure, again, you're not pushing the color on the background part of it. And this one is a little bit delicate. I don't want to bend it, so I'm just going to try to keep it in there. All right. One thing I did find is that as I was going on, like you'll see here, I've got fairly dark here and now light over here. So I think I'm just going to come back and get this a little darker just to offset it. And then this one here. It's always easier to go back and do it a little bit darker than it is to feel you've got to lighten it up, right? Okay. So let's do this part down here now. All right. So the new catalog coming out, as I said, May 6th, I believe. With that, of course, there's a bunch of stuff that is retiring. So there's going to be the last chance list. So when you're shopping now, don't just look at the new catalog. Remember, we have the online specials to look for. And the reason that it has, let me rephrase this and start again. What has been explained to me is that having things available online and not in a catalog makes it easy to switch things up, replenish things, discontinue things. It's just because you don't have to keep publishing a catalog, right? So we have the online store, which is something to keep an eye on. Some of those things are quite nice, and they might be around for a long time. They might not. So just kind of keep your eye on that. But then when things are discontinued, they go to the last chance list. So look at that. Now, if you're shopping online, just hit all of whatever you're looking for and you'll get everything. And then it'll show if it's last chance or not. If it's last chance, that's it. It's done. If it's out of stock, it's out of stock. It will be coming back. So there's usually a timeline associated with that online that you can kind of see a general idea of when they're planning on getting it back in stock. Of course, there's many factors to that, so don't, hold your breath with some of that, but do look on those on the online, and then that last chance, and there's things selling out very quickly on there, and then there's some things that might be around for a while. And there was some stuff that I've noticed with this order. I was able to get a catalog, and I noticed there's some stuff in the catalog that wasn't on the availability list for demonstrators to get. So there's going to be some new stuff coming out, and they're going to go, I think, fairly quickly. If you are a demonstrator, then you kind of have a good idea of what I'm talking about. Maybe you have more of an idea of what I'm talking about than I do at this point. But if you're not a demonstrator, because demonstrators get access, like you can see, I'm using and demoing a set that is new, and it's not available yet to everybody, but it is available to demonstrators. So if you're interested in becoming a demonstrator, then you get access to all this stuff. So one reason to become a demonstrator. So my blending brush, I've used that. I've got my ink here. So yeah, check it out. It's a great deal to become a demonstrator. You get, I think I'll switch it there, and then that one piece will be at the bottom. You get $165 worth of product for $100. Oh, I can't do that. For $125, I believe, something like that. I'll have to look at that. I'll put a link on my page, below the video here. Sorry, mine's thinking of 100 different things at once. Okay, so I'm going to put my glue on here. I want to make sure I get the areas that are not going to be with that motif. My glue is on its last legs, so I'm hoping I have enough here. But I want to make sure this is glued down properly. Especially that spot there, that's going to be problematic. Okay, so that looks good. Put some in here. Put some in here. Okay. Now this is going on to the gold. So just bear with me. I can't quite have it in your view right now. There. And I'm going to really go with the circle and all of the edging that makes sure that it's even. Check back. There we go. That one. Then I want to come in with my take your pick tool and just kind of make sure that these spots are going to lift up. actually, you can get different ends for your take your pick tool, and one end is like this weeding tool, and that we use with Cricut all the time. So I'm gonna just kind of come in and use this, and I know when this goes in an envelope, it's going to be kind of hidden and pushed back down again rather, but because I want to make sure I'm not gluing it down, I just want to pull it up here, at least the larger pieces, and then I know that glue isn't going to hit there. I don't really want to fold it up. Just kind of want to pull it up. Because folding it would leave a crease, and I don't really want to do that. Now, the other thing, and one of the reasons I really liked and I wanted this set, was I can see so many applications for different ways I can use it to do home decor, right? Like, imagine this piece with these kind of popped up. And really, you know what we could do is stick a mini dimensional under there. Oops, that tape is sticking to me. Like, what if we just kind of come in here with a mini dimensional and popped that up like that, right? That's going to help hold that up. And then you will see that gold under there. So we can do that. That's not a problem. There you go. I can do one on this side as well. Okay. That. And maybe, oops, piece here. Maybe do this one here. There we go. So that's just holding it up enough that it's giving it some dimension and letting you peek that little gold underneath. It's not hitting every one. I could cut one in half. One of these little mini dimensionals, just kind of come in here and cut it in half. And then I can pull this out. And I kind of want to stick it on the back so I know it's going to be hidden. Sorry, I'm trying to do this in so you can see, but so I can see as well. All right, so I think I've in there. I'll pull that backing off. Right, these are so delicate, I don't want to rip them. But there, I like that. I think that's good. So I'm going to start with this half piece here first. And then it's going to be done. Take both backings off first. It makes it a little bit easier. Lesson learned. All right. Well, what did I just say? Oh, sissy, learn your lesson. Okay. Sissy, speaking of Sissy, my sisters and I, we haven't done anything together in a long time because my one sister lives quite close to me. My other sister is in Ottawa. So we thought we would go to the Nordic Spa this weekend. So we're going to do that, and I'm looking forward to that. Last time I went to Spa Nordique was with my one sister that lives up there, and we went on the coldest day I think we could have gone. It was like so cold, And so for those of you that aren't familiar with it, you go and you jump into hot tubs, and then you go from a hot tub to a sauna, and you work your way around. And then you can even go into a cold plunge pool. And oh my goodness, it was just so cold. I don't know how or why we did it. It was just crazy. It was a wonderful day with my sister, and we had a massage, and we had a nice snack there. But oh my goodness, it was cold. Okay, I don't think I'm going to use any dimensionals to pop this up. I think I'm just going to put it right on the card base. Now, I also got some new glue with my order, but you know, you don't want to give up unless you absolutely have to, right? And you think, oh, I'm almost out, and then you get a good spurt. So I think that spurt, though, was its spurt of spurts. I'm going to put this on this very vanilla card base. And personally, I think that color just looks so well. It's classic. It just gives a nice, clean look to the card. So there we go. And then this is going to be pièce de resistance. Sorry for those of you that are French that I muddled that. But I'm going to just stick that in there. And I think that is fabulous. All right. So I'm going to glue this down. Now, I do need a sentiment, and I do need, I don't need, I really like to have ribbon on my card, and I am really liking this ribbon. But I don't think I am going to put ribbon on this. And I'm not even sure about the sentiment, how and where we're going to put that. So let's look at the sentiments. We have wishing you love and happiness that lasts a lifetime. Just a note, hello, thank you for everything, thinking of you. I'm here for you always. Celebrate, or you've been on my mind. So I don't know. We definitely need to put something on the inside. And I'm wondering something across the center there. Now I did have I'm just looking for what I did have. I apologize. So there's the paper that came with this suite, and there's some really nice papers. And I just thought maybe I had something that would coordinate with that to stamp on, but it doesn't look like I do have anything at the moment. Other than more cardstock. I wish we were live so you guys could give me some help here. So thinking of you, I think, is the one I want to put on. And maybe just a little one right there would be enough. Thinking of you, go right in there. Maybe right here. So this is basic beige. We don't want basic beige. We don't want white. I'm just wondering, would that be enough? That might be enough if I use this. Let's try this. It's going to kind of cut a little bit out here. And what I'm thinking is using my Pick-a-Punch here, banner Pick-a-Punch or whatever it's called. And my smallest width that I can use is a 1/4 inch. So let's see if we have a 1/4 inch here. think I have half. Let's try half. Would work a little bit better. Nope. I guess it was half that I had there. So there we go. Let's just, now which edge do I want? The scalloped or kind of the ticket edge? I think with this one we want to go the scallop edge. But first open it up. So you see there was a lock there that locked it, so it's held closed. I want to push that lock open so now I can punch. So you're going to find the edge, and apparently that's 1/2 inch here, and slide it in that groove till it goes back all the way. Sorry, I feel like I'm losing my voice here. Come on, why are you not going all the way? Well, there's nothing in there. So let's keep sliding. I feel like there's something blocking it. Feels like something in there. Oh, you know what? It's bending up and it's catching on something. That's what's going on. There we go. Okay, so you can see it's come in there. It's straight in here. All right, so there's my edge. So what's happened, it was, you can see it was kind of bent, so it was moving upwards, and that was catching on something in the machine, or in the punch rather. So what I want now, instead of, or before I do the other side, I'm going to do my stamping. So I think with the gold, I think the Pebble Path would look nice. Or you know what, maybe Early Espresso, because it's a nice dark color. Yeah, I still think I'm going to go for this. Just because I want to use I want it to be seen. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to stamp that down. And there we go. Not 100%, not what I wanted, but it's just looks to me a little bit off kilter, but we'll do it. All right, so now I'm going to just trim it because I want to do my edge, but this is a little bit too much. I'm just going to cut that off. And now this can be tricky trying to get in here with that little piece of paper down to the edge, but I'm at the edge now. Pop it off. Oops. Oops. And there we go. All right. And remember I said that I like ribbon on it, and maybe I could get a ribbon on it. Well, let's see if I can do that. Don't know, but I think that's where I'm going to put it. So this is the classic ribbon. It is basic beige. I don't know if it's going to work or not. It might not be, but I'm just wondering if I put it under, just put it behind that, how that would look. That would soften it at all. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think I'm going to skip the ribbon on this one, but we'll definitely put some embellishments on there. So I'm going to lock this punch, pop it away, and then this is going to go up on some dimensionals. And I think I'm going to make sure I go over the edge there a little bit. I come on this a bit, but I also come under this one side here. I just think that would be best. If I'm here in the center, I just don't know if that's where I want to be. I definitely don't want to be dead center here. Takes away from the beauty of that. I'm thinking right down here. Or maybe come in. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back on what I just said, and I'm going to come in that edge instead. going over the edge. One of these days, you know, decisions will be a little easier when I'm not so tired. But let me know what you think. Do you like things squared up and even, or do you like things off center and kind of a unique look to them? So I think we're just going to put this right there. So thinking of you. And we have some pretty, sorry, I'm going to just pull this down so I know it's straight before I secure it down. All right, so a couple different gems. These are the Druzy ones, Druzy adhesive back gems that I used for the other one. I think with this, that's a little too much. There's these ones as well that are clear pecan pie and clear ribboned adhesive back gems. They looked quite nice. I used them on one of the other ones. We have, oh, I've got all sorts here. There is the antique pearls, which are really nice, but not what I want for this. What came with this set are these gorgeous pressed flower motifs. They're metal. They feel metal anyways. They're quite heavy. I do believe they've got a bit of a, I'm just trying to find my magnet to see if they actually have a magnet on them. Because I think they do. Let's see. No, they're not sticking to my phone case. So maybe not. Maybe they're just very heavy. But I don't think they're quite what I want on here. I think I'm going to go with these ones. The pecan pie just seems to work well with the gold and the crumb cake. Okay, so I've got my, and I pulled the used putty off the end and I just kind of gave it one little twist and left it, and that was sticking out. So with the putty end, you want to take your, push it down on a, that just showed what I'm doing, right? Push it down and then pick it up with the putty. I find these ones are really stuck on the plastic. I'm just going to put them throughout here. Some big ones, some little ones. These ones just kind of have the two sizes to it. And you want to do threes or fives. Just kind of your odd numbers are helpful for this. I am going to kind of even it out and put another one up there and a little one here. The other one. So I have my mirrored there and then one there for my fifth. I just think that looks sweet. So then pull that one up. I don't think I want to pull that one up because it was right on the edge. Then on the inside, I believe I'm just going to put a nice sentiment, maybe the wishing you love and happiness that lasts a lifetime, or thank you for everything. Now, I tried using this die. Well, I did use this die full strength here on this, but I didn't quite get it all the way, so I didn't use it. I quite liked it, but what I was wondering, and maybe we can try it here while we're together. I had an issue with this one. That die just did not want to work. It kept leaving. I could do it full strength, but then when I did it half strength, it had these lines in it, and I don't know where those lines came from. They almost look like the tape lines when you get your dies stuck on something, and that's not what I want, right? That's just not what I'm looking for at the moment. So let's give this a try and see what happens with this stamp just on this. I'm going to stamp it up with the crumb cake because I think that's what I would like. Give it a good stick. Does seem to be missing a couple. Oh no. There's a flower here that almost looks like it's missing something, but it's not. It's straight on the edge there. Like I've said before, using these photopolymer dies, especially ones well, I'm going to take that back. Ones that are very fine like this and have a lot of little detail. And then there's ones that are just more flat. They can be problematic, I've found, to get them to stamp properly. So just kind of be wary of that. All right, so I've got a piece for in my card here. And let's try this then. I'm going to try going down twice, I think. Let's see if we can do this. You can always turn it over if it doesn't work. Stamp it up. Good. I was thinking I would stamp it off, but I don't think I'm going to for this. Like, stamp it off and then come on and do a weaker strength on here. I don't decided against that, but I am going to actually stamp off the paper off the edge. Let's see, that went too light there. I don't like that. But we'll finish it up there, and you can see kind of where I'm going at there with that and put my sentiment there. Or I could take a piece of gold and run down the side. That might be what I do. So I have a gold edging. I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, thanks for joining me. A little bit quicker tonight because I pre-cut stuff, but let me know what you think. Give me some ideas. Come back tomorrow night. Tomorrow night I will walk you through the other set, and we will do some cards with the flowers and the paper. The paper is so beautiful. All right, take care. Thank you. Have a good night.